quiet. Keep talking, and you know where that comes from. It's SOUQ Pulse, and we're here live from SOUQ News. We are all about positive programming, and we never keep quiet. Welcome and say thank you. Through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you've been there with us. Today happens to be that particular Friday, and you've followed our conversation. You've joined in. You've sent in comments. You've called. I want to say thank you. You know yourself. And for those that have argued at home or in the offices and escalated it, I want to say thank you. Because when we keep talking, people hear. And when people hear, whether they like or not, change will come. We are all about getting things done. Productivity. We say Africa should join the race. We say beautiful policies are happening in Europe, in Asia. How can Africa connect? How can Africa emulate? How can Africa stop picking loans that they don't want? How can Africa look World Bank or IMF in the face and say, thank you for giving us these billions, but let's use it the way we want? The policies you are giving us for these monies, is it favorable to our people? And for the ones you've collected, we are using them positively. Baseline, there is food on the table for everybody. It might not be everybody, but one man is helping the next person. That is what we do on SOUQ Pulse. We say, let's talk. Our business is doing well. We talk. Are they not doing well? We talk. Is dollar going up, coming down? We talk. As long as we know that you will be heard, so you don't keep quiet. My name is SOUQ, John Rogers SOUQ, and it's Friday. Is that part of the week when we say let's highlight and throw that particular big searchlight on companies, nations, Africans that are not just there but doing well, getting businesses done, getting those corporations either down this way, but making sure people work and product and services are being sold, served, and our market is booming. Today we are looking at now conceptualized in Africa, idea from Africa, design from Africa, but now we'll now stop. Manufactured in Asia, manufactured in China. This is what we get to see. This is a trend that we are seeing across board, be it in fashion, be it in manufacturing, cars, be it in machineries, be it in equipment, be it in spare parts, be it in fast-selling products. We get to see a lot of these beautiful ideas coming out of different African states, some African villages, from very good, bright minds. But due to one thing or the other, they have to go out and collaborate with China, Korea, Japan, and the manufacturing happened there. Then it now comes back this way. So today we are looking at this particular thing. It's conceptualized here. The idea is coming here, and it's manufactured in Asia. We're asking ourselves, okay, how can we benefit better? How can we turn the tide if it's possible? And to do justice to this particular discourse for today is we had to catch him and pull him down this way. Please, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome Ambassador Emmanuel Patrick, who happens to be the CEO, MD of Excel LED Nigeria. Those beautiful lights you see when you drive around, if you live in Lagos, those beautiful street lights you see. Then if you go to those nice churches that your offering is good and the Lord is blessing you, those lights you see in church, they are the ones that are installing it. So we have him here today, and he's going to talk more about this because this is one particular thing they've been doing. Now we are going to say, how can Africa benefit better? How can Africa do better? So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, join me as I welcome Emmanuel Patrick. You're welcome to SOUQ Pulse.
Thank you very much. Good day, Nigeria. My name is Emmanuel Patrick, MD, Excel LED Nigeria. Thank you for having me. And given the topic today, I think it's very important to note that we have the environment, we have the ideas, we actualize the ideas here, we give birth to them here. Why is it now happening in China? Why is the finished job or finished product, in other words, the manufacturing process, happening in China and not in Nigeria?
Those are the questions you are going to answer. You are going to answer every one of them.
Okay, so I can tell you that
before you start telling me.
Very well.
Let's start from the basics. Like now, for business sake, is it a healthy relationship? Now we're looking at it from your own side of it. Before now start taking it as in nipping it bit by bit. Is it a healthy relationship?
For us, it's a very healthy relationship. If you want to start by talking about our own line or what we do, or the relationship we've built with the Asian countries, especially China,
Okay.
in this regards, because we don't have what it takes to
When you
actualize
say we, who is we? We
I
always
refer to
be
this part
specific.
of the world,
No, hold on. Which part of the world?
Nigeria,
Okay,
for
no,
instance.
no. I say no. Say, is it that now? Let's talk about Excel. Is it that Excel LED does not have what it takes to do the manufacturing? Or Nigeria, or Nigeria is big. There are 200 million of us, over 200 million of us. Land size, kilometers wide apart.
I will tell you
So
what,
who doesn't have what it takes? Excel or Nigeria?
Nigeria,
Okay,
I will tell you. The reasons are not far-fetched.
okay.
Where is the power to
It depends on the
manufacture?
power.
Yeah, of course, the electricity.
Okay, electricity, you mean?
The raw materials
Okay,
can be sourced here.
okay.
Africa, Nigeria is so blessed that we don't need them out there to have this gadget or manufacturing happening. But we are not doing it because the environment, for now.
Okay.
Excel
Now,
will not manufacture in Nigeria.
hold on, hold on. This is
Thank you.
SOUQ Pulse.
Thank you.
We don't use words like environment. We break it down and say what it means. If we have to call somebody out, we call the person out. So now, what do you mean by the environment?
Nigeria, I think it's what you have mentioned,
Okay.
that
Light. We have light
we
issues.
have light issue, we have
Okay.
the electricity issue, we have the security
Security
issues.
issues. Okay. Now, a lot of these issues must be taken care of
Of course,
by not just Nigeria. Nigeria is nobody. Nigeria is me and you.
sure, I
And you
agree
that
with
is
you.
much. Okay. Now let's take a dive to Excel LED. Now you manufacture LED products,
Very well. LED screens.
LED screens. Nigeria owns Excel LED.
Very well.
Good. So at the end of the day, you can write Excel LED made in Nigeria.
Very well, we can.
Innocent vehicles made in Nigeria.
Very well.
Nod made in Nigeria, as in the car manufacturing. Now, we are looking at, for those that are wondering, we say Nigeria must move forward. We are the populace. We say Africa must get productive. Now we are looking at Excel LED. Now, you've been in business for a very long time, as long as I can remember.
Very well.
Now, over time, you've serviced both for mass announcements, for adverts, for billboards and churches and all these places. From the time you started going to China till now, what plans are you looking at? Because we are looking at you as an example, because if you can do it, others can also do it. What plans does Excel LED have to make sure that even if you keep manufacturing in China, some of your sourced material, some of your produced material, some of your finishing happen in Africa?
Yes, this is the plan. We started good, and of course, we must appreciate Nigeria at this point in time, because if the environment is not good for us to get the start, we will not grow and get to the point where it is being assembled and it is being manufactured right here in Nigeria. So, but for Excel LED, before now, all the road leads to China for whatever we want to achieve within the LED screen scope.
Okay.
Later on, we discovered there are gadgets that we can do here. There are other components that we can manufacture here. And at the end of the day, maybe bring in one or two items that we don't have or we don't manufacture for now in Nigeria. The difference between Excel LED and like in the likes of the Innocent Motors you mentioned, they already have a plant here.
Okay.
What we do is we assemble here. We go to China, it is being manufactured in China for the Nigerian market, for the Nigerian situation. If you want me to break it down, for the Nigerian power, for the Nigerian pattern of electricity and maintenance and all of that. So we build it for use in Nigeria. Then we bring it back home and it is being assembled here by Excel LED. And we're looking at also growing to the stage where we don't need China anymore to like produce or to distribute.
When you say you don't need China, are you sure China doesn't need you?
Of course, China needs me.
Good. So
That's
if
why
you are
China is in
if,
Nigeria.
if you are taking the business
Yeah.
away from China, Now, this is, we're looking at profiting for both sides. I don't know if you understand. Now, we say, yes, Africa should grow. But now, we're not trying to grow in isolation. That's why we're asking, what is the relationship going to be? As we speak right now, a lot of the manufacturing of not just Excel LED, a whole lot of other companies in Nigeria.
Very well.
Good. Now, you articulate your product, you design your product, and you now send your template
Very well.
for production.
For production, yes.
It now gets back this way.
Very well.
And you now assemble. For those that you assemble, who's benefiting more?
China is benefiting more for now. And I tell you, when you have the idea itself is money.
Okay.
That idea should remain with us here. The idea goes out there, whether you patent the idea or not. At the end of the day, you're having the raw materials coming from China, you're having the LED lamps coming from China, you're having the labor, more of the labor of this process happening in China, because you want to look at from the stage one of LED manufacturing. You look at how the LED lamps are being made from a separate company that is in charge of only lamps. And then if all of this could happen back home in Nigeria, back home in Africa, I think I wouldn't say to you China is benefiting more. But because we go there, the rate with which we have to transact in China, of course they are making more.
They are definitely making more. And that is also a whole lot of employment on their
Very well.
on their
own side.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay. Now let's look at this other side, because we really need to tackle this. If we can look at it and understand it, those that are, in quote, money bags can start investing in things that will help the chain down the line.
Very
Okay.
well.
Now let's look at logistics. China is heavily invested in the logistics arm of it, which means they are looking forward to you coming and doing the manufacturing, and they have already put in place means of taking the goods you've paid for or signed in for and shipping it back to you. All this chain, where can Africa start playing? Even if we are not being able, if we are not able to do the manufacturing. Okay, now, when it's leaving the factory, where can Africa start playing?
You know,
And ask that, no, you do the this and we will play here.
of course, I want to believe, because I'm very positive with the fact that as we grow, Nigeria will get better. And how we could benefit or take it up from them so that the chunk of the benefit is coming our way, or we are benefiting, in other words, is that Nigeria should begin to create the enabling environment for young minds, for great ideas, for business to survive here. And you want to look at the foundation of everything you want to do. Say, if the foundation be broken, well,
What can the people do?
what can the people do? But I think Nigeria can do a lot. We have a lot we can do to salvage the situation. What is the situation today? You move out of your country with your hard-earned money here, you land in China. China provides everything you need to have you empty your pocket there. So I think that's what we need to begin to look at over here or in this part of the world. Let's stop it. How do we stop that? The carriers, like you rightly said, they provided all the logistics, including power. Yeah, power is on the top priority for manufacturing to exist, or manufacturing plant to exist. Now, if we don't have a stable power in Nigeria, you begin to wonder, how do we get started if we want to really bring it back home? And if China today will keep you safe as you go through their street, just so they take that which you're bringing to them. Of course, it's exchange, it's money. At the end of the day, we will need to pay them more for everything, including the freighting. How many of our carriers, or let's say cargoes, bring in goods from China, that these revenues are being generated for our own motherland, Nigeria? So almost everything, Every proceeds goes to them.
So you manufacture in China. Okay, idea is yours. Template is yours. You send it over there. They manufacture. I'm coming to the patent after this. They now do the logistics, move around companies, get everything they want, and now bring it back to you. And their carriers still bring it back this way.
Yes,
Not African flagships.
not African flagship.
And
You
we're
may
not.
have the likes of Qatar Air, Ethiopian Airlines coming in, bringing in the cargo through flights, and then of course the other sea lines. But I do not, as at today, have any idea that we have a Nigerian carrier that, in whichever form or sector within the transportation scope, that picks from point A to point B when you are done manufacturing in China and you need them back here in Lagos.
This is one particular. So for you that is out there listening to me, does it not sound strange? Some time ago, I was speaking with somebody just behind us here. For those that are wondering, this is SOUQ News, and we're on the 16th floor of Necom Building, who happens to be one of the tallest buildings in Africa. And on both sides, we have the marina and we have the broad streets. These are the major business streets in Africa. Clap for us. Now, down the road is the CBN. It's also the stock exchange. Then further down is Balogu Market, one of the biggest markets in Africa. I was speaking with somebody from Balogun one day, somebody in the fashion, and he sells shoes, very young man. So I was asking him, how come your design has changed? He said this is the design he sent to somebody in China. He designed, he drew every single thing and sent to China, and China produced and sent back. I was wondering, has it gotten to that? Then and I asked, okay, how did it get here?
Mm.
Exactly what you just said.
Yes.
Freight, everything is handled by China. So they just hand it back to you and you do all the paying. What is stopping Africa and Nigeria from playing between point of manufacture and point of delivering to you? Because you're paying for it. What is stopping us from saying, okay, from manufacture, our people will do the movement from you to us?
When you don't have our own people to doing that for you, or when you don't want to go through the blame games of it is the customs, it is the airliner, it is the sea. I can tell you for free that even when it arrives Nigeria, we have lot of Chinese shipping agents doing the clearing instead of the locals, the Nigerians doing the clearing for you. And I think this is a very huge gap that we as Nigerians, we need to begin to look into that. I think we need to diversify. We need to look at which of these sectors or which of these businesses we can do or that is lacking. Somebody should think about having to move goods from point A in China and then let the point B be Nigeria. Door-to-door delivery. I think that business is open. But for us, when we're done, we are almost at the mercy of these manufacturers. They will,
We just play small.
yes, because you want the goods to come, you want them to arrive safely, and you think they have a better system that makes it happen for you. So you have to just pay even when it is not conducive. I can tell you within the last 2 weeks, we had an increment in the freight, let's say about 30% of what we were paying a month earlier. And everybody goes back to tell you is the USD. Back there in China, yes, we transact with the USD. Here in Nigeria, you come back, if it goes up, it's your business. If it comes down, it's your business. And that has done little and of course little harm to the growth and what would have enabled the Nigerian man expand to the extent where he is saying to himself, okay, let me just get the CKD raw materials and run it here in Nigeria. It's
Okay.
not easy.
Now let's take it further. You mentioned something about patent. Now, if you patent here, you've sent a model there. You are not there, and there's no law that governs the model you've sent there. and they have seen the model you sent there, and they are manufacturing for you based on your beautiful ideas, do you think anything stops them from manufacturing same thing for someone else?
Of course, nothing stops them from manufacturing same thing for someone else. You see, when you have this idea, I like you to remember that even the mold comes from China. All you may be able to do is to put up a sketch, a drawing of what you want to actualize. The first mold you have, like in LED wall, we call it the cabinet. So if you want to mold the cabinet, which houses the models, that is the LED lamps, you are doing that in China. And when you do that in China, of course, that's why you have what we call the public models in China. If you want to pattern it, you have to pattern it both here and back there in China. Now, when you don't own a business in China, you will now need someone in China, a company in China to help you do that. So that at the end of the day, only you has such a pattern. Remember, your idea back home. But because it's out, and because there is no way you could do the molding, or you could have the mold for your samples of LED cabinets, you're relying on China. So everything is going back to China. They benefit more. You pattern here, you bring it in, and then a year later, you see somebody around the corner with almost same design. And then I tell you what, even the regulatory bodies does not care. Otherwise,
Regulatory bodies here or there?
yes, here,
Okay.
here, because when you pattern a particular series or model, and then you take it out, now you're back home, you're happy. This is your new innovation. This is you. It's been patterned. Trust me, 6 months, 1 year down the line, you're going to have it bearing a different name. Sometimes, if you're not careful, it's going to be bearing a name as close as possible, your own name.
Sorry,
So,
I'm laughing. Okay, now it's as if you're talking out of experience. Tell us the Excel LED experience.
okay, I tell you, we had a series. Actually, the idea was given birth to by the wealth of experience we've got in multimedia services. Now, we thought, what kind of LED could survive our pattern? What is our pattern? NEPA has gone up. Is it NEPA you call it now?
PHCN.
PSCN has gone up.
That's in Nigeria.
Yes, turn on the generator. The power packs a lot of times have been blown because of, power surge, on and off, and all of that. So we said, okay, what can we do for the Nigerian market so that it lasts, so that at least we're able to save the end users from the trouble or from the blame game of it is your electricity. We want to say our product is good, is the best. But we have the electricity issue coming as a challenge or a concern. Now, from our own experience, when we came out with that very design, just 1 year later, an unbranded company, though of course, if it's not original, it cannot be. Copyright a lot of times does not catch up with the originality of your designs. So they couldn't meet up. In fact, until
But
right now,
they produced the same
they
concept.
produce the same concept, only, of course, they are not the originators of such ideas, so they don't know what makes ours different. And I wouldn't want to capture or distinguish between their cabinet and our own, so they don't get
So
to get
is
ideas.
it possible?
Yes.
Is it possible that where you're manufacturing this, from the point of manufacturing, is it possible that either that same place or somebody within that same place is sharing the information, or is it? I'm not trying to be specific. Let me look like we are pointing fingers. But is it possible that it's coming from point of manufacturing?
Yeah, it's very possible. I tell you, one is possible. For us, the manufacturing plant in China, we have an understanding, and I can tell you there is this mutual respect and trust. But this is what I think happens. anytime we come up with a new idea, like we are experiencing now, we have our e-honor series, and then suddenly somebody will come by for the purpose of reproduction. When they discover the acceptance in the market, they want to create the fake you, the fake. And I tell you, China is not innocent of this. Yes, they are not innocent of it, because you get these manufacturers, they manufacture for you, they are happy, it's a good series, it's a good design, it's making or becoming the best selling on our menu. Then suddenly somebody does something similar. Of course, the quality might not be the same. They don't know how we build, so they may not be able to tell which way to go around it. So, but there is this thing that I think is pushing those who are into, will I call it piracy, or fake gadget, trying to replicate another person's idea, irrespective of the patent laws that exist. People want to buy cheap things. People,
Is demand from the people.
yes, it's demand from the people. They get the original one, they feel is very expensive. And sorry to say that some of us back here in this country awaits this kind of opportunities. See the real deal, go create something that looks similar, just so that the common man, or those who will not want to insist on quality, will find that as an option. So it's happening to us. Some people go out there to even mention the name of the brand because it looks like the brand, and then you're buying.
Go out and mention the name of the brand so that they can get that replication for the brand.
Exactly.
We are going to explore that, but hold on. Now, let's still look at this Africa-China relationship. Now, we have seen a lot of imports from China. To be specific, a lot of importation from China to Africa has doubled, tripled
Triple.
over the last few years.
That's right.
And the rate at which we trade has seriously tilted in favor of China. Now, Africa has not been able to export 5% of what China is giving to Africa. Globally, to be precise, Africa exports less than 3% of global trade. Now, is it possible, or will you advise that Africa should start looking at, since we are trading more with China, start looking at those particular things that we have here that China is sourcing from outside, and say, okay, China, if you are bringing this to us this much, don't take this from somewhere else. Take this particular one from us. Is this something Africa can bunch and say, yes, let's do this?
Of course. And the interesting part is that I think China will want to welcome that. From my little outings in China, I think I will agree with China that yes, everybody is out to maximizing their profit and their own region, but then China also wants a lot from us. So imagine when our export system to China is being well regulated, and then we have people pushing into doing exports of those items that China can not do without.
Yes, majorly things that they use in making batteries,
Very well.
lithium, things they use in making what's it called?
Whole lot.
Microchips.
I can tell you,
They
whole lot.
they
They
they,
need it
they
here.
import some of
The
those.
mining sector,
A
China.
lot of the mining sector, yes.
Exactly. You have imagine as little as the ginger that we usually overlook.
Which of the ginger? The
Yes,
Kano Kaduna ginger
the Kano Kaduna Jos ginger.
that is
It's
dug up from the
you
ground.
take to China is huge. Recently, somebody told me that where can we get the skin of a donkey? And I said, what for?
No.
Yes, I know. Now there are times we can say no. This you cannot take. This you should take. But it should be trade by barter. What are you giving us? What are
What
we
I
giving?
So our ancestors that held onto trade by barter benefited more than we that are doing open trade, open borders.
Open borders.
Okay. Now let's look at it from this side, what we were talking about before. Now we see this trade from Asia generally We see, be it cars, be it electronics, be it spare parts, whatever it is. But on the flip side, we see a whole lot of substandard products. A whole lot of substandard products. I don't want to call it fake. Let's just leave it to that word, substandard product. But
Yeah.
they are made from somewhere. They are coming from somewhere. Who put them in that manufacturing line and it left knew that these are substandard products, and it's coming into Africa, flooding African markets. How can Africa stand up and say, hey, let's count?
This is where the Standard Organization of Nigeria needs to be lauded. They need to sit up and do their part. You have a whole lot of fake gadgets coming. And I'm sorry to say, whole lots, I wouldn't want to say of what percentage, but whole lots coming this way. Africa, Nigeria. Do you want to blame China? No.
But who is making it?
China is making it.
Okay.
I tell you what, just like I said, you have a pattern, you're producing something real, something good, considering good component that will enable you say, okay, this warranty policy is secure between you and the end user. Someone else goes there to say, okay, I want this. They know the components. A lot of times they know because they will buy the original one as a sample to give birth to that which is fake. It is us from here going to them saying, this is what we can afford. And the normal businessman, the China man, doesn't want to lose money. So by the time you come and you say, give me this, and for instance, he is saying, okay, the original one will cost you 10 naira. And you feel, okay, I want to come back home and sell for 3 naira 50 kobo. Can you manufacture something that will look like this within 2 naira, 1 naira 50 kobo? And the original one is selling for 10 naira. Without the masses encouraging such buying the fake products, China will not have a market. Without us going to China to say, can I have another version of this? Of course, it will not happen. So, if you have somebody dancing on the stage, you probably have someone playing the music. China, yes, they produce this fake stuff at whose request? On whose request?
So there's somebody, definitely somebody
Yes.
playing the drums.
Somebody is going there to say, give me something cheaper so that I will take it home and sell it cheaper, and then whole lot of trouble. Within the LED scope, I know of a product, I wouldn't mention name, but recently a church got burned here in Lagos. And then they decided to come to us. The funny thing that happened was you are now back to the original product, but there is a doubt created.
Yes, because
So you're saying, hey, you have to give me something that is good, or something that will not be SYZ, not that type of, even though what you're giving is now the original. And for us, we have insisted on keeping the quality because we say the apple does not care how much orange it sells in the market. They are both fruits. Life is full of choices. But the choice, or what brings back home fake gadget, fake phones, everything you can think of, is given birth to from here.
okay, let's ask this direct question. Now we get to the market. For those of everyone that buy brands, you see the original brands, but you also see the brand. I don't want to call them copy. You see them all around. It's popular with fashion. Ladies, you know yourselves. Then you get to see them all around.
Yes.
Then for some electronics gadgets, you also get to see some of the names, but you see the names maybe spelled in some obscure way. Have you seen Excel LED somehow, some way? And you're wondering, no, this can't be our product. Have you seen that before?
What I have seen is that somebody installed gadgets in the name of Excel. Okay, this is what happened. We were called. Your screen is bad. We're not happy about this product. And then we check our record. This is not on our clientele list. We've not executed any contract for such or installation for such a client, a church, you know. So we decided to visit the site because the church insisted. They were very sure they bought Excel product and they are not happy about it. So we decided to visit the church. Lo and behold, it's not our product. What happened? The person came and insisted this is Excel because for somehow we have some churches that have insisted on our quality because they've used it. So we have seen LED lights bearing Excel LED. We've not seen LED screens bearing Excel LED. So, in other words, it's a yes. We have seen our name elsewhere. Yeah.
Now, for this is it's funny though, but business wise, it's not funny. If
Really.
we say we should get productive and hey, everybody get productive, contribute to the upliftment of your economy. It doesn't matter where you are in Africa, it doesn't matter your divide, it doesn't matter your gender. We all have a part to play. But as we play this part, competition is okay. But going and trying to fall the next man's business in all in the name of making profit is a no. We say no, completely no. Now let's get back on track. We have a lot of issues we need to resolve in Africa. Definitely, we have a lot, and there's this particular saying that talent migrates to where it is appreciated. So we see a lot of Africans leaving the motherland, leaving the shores of Africa and heading to Europe, heading to Asia, heading to the beautiful places. And those people are happy receiving them and they are doing excellently well. But on the flip side, we still see a whole lot of Westerners coming to Africa. What is it that they are seeing that we Africans are not seeing?
Yes, they are certainly seeing our natural mineral resources. They are seeing the blessings of the Lord upon us because Nigeria is so blessed. Africa is so blessed. I do not understand why we should focus on going to them to get or to buy or to acquire what they naturally or actually got from us. So you see, they come here, they pick up raw materials, they go back there, they create or innovate whatever we call it, because I don't want to begin to mention names of products and brands that you just know that the raw materials are coming from Nigeria or from this part of the world, the Africa. And then we go, we buy what we have. They come, they pick what we have to go produce what we need or what we think we need. So the whole thing is a bit tricky. You begin to wonder, how did we get here? How comes these guys are on their way here and we are on our way there? They come, they are ready to go back, but they want to establish here. They come, stay, do business, visit their people. We go, we want to remain there. We become slaves there while they are here milking us. Until these narratives change, it will be difficult to have a way forward or a way out when you talk about given the topic. You will begin to wonder what is going on. If truly you bought that flight and you now realize that upon arrival, Nnamdi Azikiwe or Lagos Airport or Port Harcourt, you have more of the white chaps in the plane coming into your country. Then when the flight is taking off, maybe when you're going, you have more of the blacks in the aeroplane. It's a big concern. So if you throw that question to me, I will want to say that is the question that begs for answer. Honestly.
So you mean in your magnanimity, in your good books, you can't give me an answer?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. If they don't have anything to take here, they wouldn't be
They won't
in
be
their
here.
large numbers when you're boarding a flight from places like China back to Nigeria. You discover you have more of the whites in. I stand to be corrected, but a lot of time from my observation, coming back to Nigeria, you have more of the whites. Going out of Nigeria, you have more of the blacks.
Somebody is seeing an opportunity, somebody is not seeing.
Exactly.
That's obviously what we have here. Now let's come back to this particular ideas. Is it possible? Do you see it happening where we are not just manufacturing outside, but at least a large chunk of the percentage of this manufacturing Africa is doing outside the shores of Africa starts taking place in Africa?
Yes, it's very possible. Everything is possible. For us, we've said to ourselves, we want to close the gap. All roads leads to China for LED screens. What do we want to achieve in a very short possible distance? 1 year, 2 year, we want to be able to say, okay, no, you can get it here. Everything, start to finish, get it here in Nigeria. If we have other minds like ours, and then we push to see this happen or happening, I think it will come back home. It will come back to Africa. We have what it takes. If you have a good electricity in Nigeria, more of them will be here doing direct labor. More of them will be here doing direct labor. Go to Dubai today, you see more of the Indians doing the labor, petty jobs around. And trust me, Nigeria, even the giant of Africa, as it were, can make it happen. Stop this production. Innocent Motors today is, of course, doing everything back here. Maybe few components coming from outside. You can't push that away really, 100%. But let's have 95% of the production take place here. Why do I have to produce or manufacture the carton that package the LED screens at the end of the day? The final finished packaging, you have the cartons and then you have the polystyrene. This we can manufacture here in Nigeria. With time, the steel that forms your cabinet, yeah, because sometimes you use the iron cabinet and then sometimes you use the aluminum die cast. We all have it here. Where do they source their aluminum to take back and then manufacture cabinet? Then I will now go to China, buy and bring it back and install in a church in Nigeria. We can
Okay.
make it happen.
Okay. So I also think I didn't mention that last name, but you mentioned it. So I also think, please, every single church elder, church pastor, let's tell our members those beautiful monies and investment they have in the bank, we need to start putting it down into manufacturing. And they come here and they take those particular materials, go and buy it back and come here as finished product. Okay, I want to say thank you very much. But one last question: how can Nigerian businesses better the relationship between Nigerian businesses and Chinese businesses?
Okay, for us, there's this relationship between Excel LED Nigeria and Excel LED China. What we try to do, which I think will benefit every business running between Nigeria and China, is first, when you have a good relationship, you have an understanding, you build trust and integrity within a business. What you see happening is growth. If we begin to identify those things that we don't necessarily need to run out for, I think the other side of the business or partnership will also respect our stand. So at the end of the day, let's begin to look at maximizing our profit. How do you do that? If the entire production is happening in China, you sure know that almost all the proceeds going back to China. By the time you bring in your screens, you sell, and then you need to get the forex exchange to get the USD or however you're paying for restocking. We can close that gap when I decide that, okay, ABC component by all means be made here in Nigeria. CKD, we want to bring in raw materials, maybe power pack, LED lamps, and then we manufacture these other ones there. You now see that there must be that synchro, that synergy between the business here in Africa and the business there in China. At this point in time, I feel I'm bringing something to the table that gives back to the final finished product. You are also, I'm not relying on China, so I'm not making you feel like the boss. Because right now, China feels like the boss.
Okay, he that pays The Piper kind of takes it on. Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Patrick. It's always a pleasure being around you.
A
Thank you for
pleasure.
coming on SOUQ Pulse, like
Thank you.
the first time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. And to everyone that has been part of this particular program, SOUQ Pulse, for today, Friday, I want to say thank you very much. Remember, our communication, our conversation continues. It doesn't stop. Go there, drop your comments, call us. Hey, I will always pick that call. Send a mail like you've always done. We'll be grateful. And remember, let this continue. Let's argue about it. Let's disagree on several things. Then we can agree. When we keep talking, changes are made. It's in our recollection minds, and we know that we need to move forward. And to every Chinese company out there, thank you very much. But on this other side, we also want to appeal to you when those particular requests and you know what we're talking about come for those substandard products. Even if you want to do it, let the authorities know. Some of these products are a bit harmful. A lot of them are harmful to the pocket. They might not be harmful to the human being, but they are harmful to the end user's pocket. Thank you. It's SOUQ Pulse. We will do this again on Monday. Have yourself a beautiful, beautiful weekend. My name is Chooks, John Rogers Chooks. Bye.